Hello and welcome to another World Tanks video. In this one I'm in my KV-4 and I'm going on top of the hill here. So should be interesting. You don't really ever see a KV-4 get on top of the hill before getting usually shot inside several times going up here, but the enemy wasn't particularly quick with going up, nor did they have any scouts they really could be using without wasting some potential good player. I missed the first shot there, and there's an MX-100. So already there's a lot of potential damage just there, just in that one tank, but an IS can also do quite a lot. Now I decided to target the Hellcat because it's a pesky fast little bugger and don't really want him flanking me. The IS takes by a track. He hasn't done any damage to me despite how many shots he's done. I tried to hit the MX-100 but the IS comes forward and I hit his gun mantlet instead. So what I'm trying to do here is basically side scraping and shooting between the stairs, which is perfectly viable. And I'm also covering some of the front plate of that Tiger 2 behind me. And as you can see, since I'm closer to the stairs, it's a lot easier for me to shoot through them compared to the enemy, which is hitting them several times. There's now also a T-34 here. Also, I have to give credit to our artillery that M7 is spam shooting those guys. And I just got my loader hit out by the Tiger B there. Wasn't expecting yet another tank to come here, but apparently they did. The MX-100 is now trying to run away. Just got a gold shell body grill hit on me, which did no damage. Tiger 2 got a bit too aggressive, going way too far out there. T-34 tries to get out. I drive forward and he ends up hitting my track instead of anything else. Just de-tracking me yet again. That guy tried to flank. I get his shot in on him. Then there's a T-34 trying to get past me here. And he succeeds. There's not really a lot I can hit except that, and luckily I managed to do damage. I managed to dodge the T-34 shot, and the other T-34 behind me managed to get a nice hit in on there. I get the IS tracked sideways to use as a repair kit. And he's now dead as well. That's a lot of wrecks for both sides up here, and my tank manages to survive that. The grill is still shooting me, doing almost nothing at all. This tank, when it's a top tier, is pretty good. However, as soon as it meets tier 9s, it's unfortunately very weak. That MX-100 failed miserably trying to get me. T-34 saving me yet again. With the scout down there finally, at least know there's not any more that's on the way to come. The reason this tank is so terrible when you meet tier 10s is it's just too slow. The gun is only usable in a tier 8 fight. Once it starts meeting higher, you don't have the accuracy to hit the weak spots, and you just don't have the penetration either. Reload is also fairly high for how little DPM this thing does. This tank is meant to tank, but a lot of times it just fails at tanking. This is one of the examples where it does that really, really well. But if you can't side scrape, this tank becomes useless very, very quickly, and against tier 9 guns, you're not bouncing anything either. In encounter modes, ironically going up the hill is usually the best bet, because that's the place you can eliminate most of the enemy tanks. Going anywhere else, or sending more than 2 or 3 tanks any other flank is largely pointless, simply because if you win the hill, you will have destroyed a larger portion of the enemy tanks, and then you can rush down into the forest, get rid of the guys that are hanging back and the artillery. At that point you can just mop up the rest of the survivors. It's the same thing with Himmelsdorf. Going anywhere except the hill first with more than 2-3 tanks is largely useless. Even if the enemy sends their entire team to the cap zone, it will still take them too long to cap. You will still get to defend before the cap is done, simply because of how long it takes in encounter to cap. We're just now basically hunting for the remaining survivors. So speed that a little bit up. I think this one managed to get around all the way to artillery, guess the artillery, and sadly the Tiger 2 gets me there, which forfeits my steel wall. But his joy is short-lived, and he is soon dead, as soon as this guy actually hits him. There we go. Hope you have enjoyed this. I will be bringing you more shortly, including another KV-4 game, which is quite the amazing loss. I think you will enjoy that quite a lot. Until then, see you next time.